Hi everyone, it's good to catch you in another video edition. This time I have come up with a video on the topic deflection of beams. Again, it's coming under the subject called as strength of materials. Let us move into the topic. What is deflection of beams generally? You might have seen beams loaded with various loads like point load, UDL, UVL, right? So whenever you load some beam, it is going to deform. It is going to deform. It is going to change its shape. So unless until the condition exceeds the elastic limit, there is no problem. The beam can come to its original position after removing of load. If it is going beyond the elastic limit, the beam is going to permanently deform. That we have already seen in the beginning of the subject, in the topic stress and strain, right? So generally when the beam deforms, the deformation is usually expressed in terms of deflection, change in the dimension. So it is usually expressed in terms of deflection from its original loaded position. Imagine there is a beam. See, you have a beam. See, you have a beam, we have a loading condition, right? So the beam has got deflected in this way based on the load. Where the intensity of the load is high, there the deflection will also be high. It is directly proportional. Where the loading condition is high, the deflection is also be high, right? This is how it is got deflected for this loading condition. So deformation is always shown in terms of deflection from the original unloaded position. See, imagine this beam is not loaded, it is going to be in this straight position. When it is loaded, it is going to deflect. So we are going to compare both the things. What is the case of beam when it is not loaded, and what is the case of beam when it is loaded? That difference will give you the deflection, in what way it is got deflected from its original position when it is not loaded, right? How to measure? Where to measure? So when you take the beam, we have already seen topic related to beam, that is shear stress in beam in the last video. We have spoke about the neutral axis. Neutral axis, where it runs exactly at the central axis of the beam. Exactly at the central axis of the beam, both in x and y direction. In this case, the central axis, this will be your neutral axis, right? This will be your neutral axis. We have to measure the deflection from the original beam's neutral axis to the deflected beam's neutral axis. That will give you the perfect value of deflection. Original, that is neutral axis of the original beam to the neutral axis of the deflected beam. That is how it is calculated. The deflection is measured from the original neutral surface of the beam to the neutral surface of the deformed beam. That will give you the actual deformation. The configuration actually resulting in this kind of deflection is called as elastic curve. It is also called as elastic curve, right? See, why it is called as elastic curve? It is lying within the elastic limit. If you remove the load, from this beam, it is going to come back to its original position. So it is in elastic nature. Removing the load, it brings back the beam to its original position. So this curve resulting from the loading is called as elastic curve. I hope you understood, right? Okay. Two important things that we have to know in terms of deflection of beam. One is deflection, another one is slope. So what is slope in a beam? When a beam is loaded, we obviously know that it is going to deflect to a certain position. It is going to deflect to a certain position. So what will be the slope? This term slope we have studied even from the school days, right? Dy by dx in terms of graph. So we will see what is slope. Slope of a beam is an angle between deflected beam to the actual beam at the same point. Slope of a beam is angle between the deflected beam to the actual beam at the same point, right? Here I have considered this point. Here I have considered this point, right? So same point I have taken here, corresponding point in the deflected beam. This is original beam and this is deflected beam, right? Deflected beam. Now how to find out the slope? How to find out the slope? Angle made, right? So I have considered this point. I am going to draw a tangent. I am going to draw a tangent with respect to that point. I am going to draw a tangent with respect to that point, and at the same point I am going to draw a parallel to the beam. I am going to draw a line parallel to the beam. So this is your original beam. I am going to draw a line parallel to this original beam. The angle included between them, the parallel line and the tangent line, will give you the slope at that point. This you can do at anywhere. This you can do. Let me change the color of the pen. It is exactly matching with the beam's color, right? Now I hope it will be clear. See? So this point. Now you can do that also here. You can do that procedure here also and find out the slope. Here. Any point you can find the slope using this procedure, right? And also when you keep on tracing the slope along this deflected beam, at one point the slope is going to be 0. It is going to at this point it is going to be the maximum, and it is going to keep on reducing as we draw the tangent, and each and every point as we draw the tangent. See, drawing the tangent. At one point the slope is going to be 0. There is nothing but it is going to be exactly parallel to the beam surface. The slope is going to be exactly, when you draw a tangent at this point, the slope is going to be exactly parallel to the beam. So what do you call that point as? How will you call that point as? That point is called as the maximum deflected point. That point is called as the maximum deflected point. That is how you will find out the maximum deflection. I hope you understood the slope, right? Deflection of the beam, right? Deflection is defined as the vertical displacement of a point on a loaded beam. In that case it is an angle, slope is an angle, deflection is the vertical displacement. It is a vertical displacement of a point on a loaded beam. See, you can have any kind of, you can find vertical distance at any place. This is a vertical distance. I have taken, for example, I have found out the vertical distance here. I have denoted the vertical distance at this point A and also at this point B, because point B is going to give you the maximum deflection. As I told you, at this point if you draw a tangent, it is going to be carrying a zero slope. What I told you, whenever there is a zero slope, that is a point where you are going to get the maximum deflection. You are going to get the maximum deflection, right? Okay. This entire unit is based on this slope and deflection. When a beam is going to deform, it is going to deflect, right? Deflection is not going to be uniform. It is going to change according to the load. Deflection is not going to be uniform. It is going to change according to the load. As the deflection changes, the slope is also changing. So, as the y changes with respect to the x, that is called the slope. dy by dx. Change in the y with respect to the x. dy by dx is your slope. So, this entire unit is going to be based on this slope and deflection. So, to find out this slope and deflection, we have various methods. We have various methods to find out this slope and deflection. So, let us see what are those methods. Numerous methods are available for determination of beam deflection. These methods include double integration method, Michaelis method, area moment method, conjugate beam method, strain energy method, that is otherwise called as Castigliano's theorem, and method of superposition. Out of these 6 methods, there are also other methods which is under research. Some research scholars or PhD holders are involved in finding out the other methods also. So, these are all the available 6 methods currently in hand. Among these 6 methods, we are going to concentrate only on this. Among the 6 methods, we are going to concentrate only on this 4 methods. We are going to concentrate only on this 4 methods, right? Double integration method, Michaelis method, area moment method, and conjugate beam method. So, I will give you some brief introduction about these 4 methods, because we are going to see in detail how to solve problems using these methods later in later videos. I will give you a simple term about these methods, right? Double integration method. The name itself suggests that we are going to integrate twice. We are going to integrate twice, right? So, double integration method is a powerful tool in solving the deflection and slope of a beam at any point, because we are able to get the equation of elastic curve. You have already seen what is elastic curve. Elastic curve is the curve made by the deflected beam. If in this method, we will be in a verge of finding out a curve for this, finding out an equation for this elastic curve. With that equation, it is so simple for us to find out the value of slope and deflection at any point, given any point. That is nothing but the equation will be in terms of y is equal to. You will get some equation. Y is equal to some equation, and one more equation is dy by dx. One more equation is dy by dx is equal to. you will get some equation, right, based on the problem, whether it is cantilever beam or simply supported beam or overhanging beam. Based on the beam and loading condition, you are going to get a different equation of y and dy by dx. Y is obviously, we know that it is deflection. The change in y with respect to the x is called slope. So, you will get two equations. With that, we can find out two equations in terms of x, because the beam is going to be of horizontal nature. It is going to have some length, right? It is going to have some length. It is going to have some length. So, that length is taken as x at various points. X is equal to 1. Suppose the length of the beam is 6. See, if the length of the beam is 6, we are going to take each position, like at this point, we are going to find out the slope and deflection at this point. Let us assume that x is equal to, x is equal to 2 mm. So, find out the deflection and slope at x is equal to 2 mm. So, these two equations will be in terms of x. So, substituting the value of x in this equation will give you directly the value of slope and deflection, right? It is as simple as it. But this method is also having some drawbacks. Some drawbacks. If you ask me what is the drawback, if you are having a beam with a single load, if you are having a beam of single load, right, I will take you to the diagram of beam, right. Right, for example, we can take this one. We will take this beam. You are having a single load. When you are going to find out the deflection equation y or dy by dx, when you are integrating once, you will get a constant, right? Since we have a single load here, there is no problem that we will get only one constant. If you are going to integrate twice, you are going to get second constant, right? Hence, for a single problem, you are going to get a two constant with a single load. Keep it in mind, with a single load, you are going to get a two constant. Imagine that if you are having a two loads or three loads or four loads, the number of constant is going to increase. And with the double integration, we are in a position to find out in double integration, we are in a position to find out the constants. We are in a position to find out the constants, right? So, if the number of load increase, number of constant, we are supposed to find out the number of constants. So, in that case, double integration method is a tedious process and a very lengthy process. To overcome this problem, there is one more method introduced, Michaelis method. The person who found this method is named by after his name, that is Michaelis. It is similar to the double integration. We are going to integrate twice, but the constant is included only for the first loading condition. We are not going to include the load for the other loads. If the n number of loads are there, 2 or 3 loads, we are going to include the constant only for the first load. So, hence, always there will be only two constant if you integrate twice. We are not going to get many number of constant. Why? If you ask me the reason why, I will explain you this, why we are not taking constant for all the loads and why we are taking constant for only one load. I will explain you when we discuss this individual topic later in some other video, right? Okay. Now, Next method is area moment method. Area moment method is again one of the method to find out the slope and deflection of beam. It involves the area moment diagram. Area moment diagram. What is the area moment diagram? There is nothing but your bending moment diagram. We have already seen your shear force and bending moment diagram unit. Same procedure is applied here. For the given beam, for the given beam and the loading condition, we are going to draw the elastic curve. We are going to find out the bending moment. And we are going to draw the moment diagram, bending moment diagram. We are going to draw the bending moment diagram. So after drawing the bending moment diagram, whichever point they have asked us to find out the deflection and slope, with respect to that point, we are going to take the area. For suppose they have asked us to find out the deflection or slope at this point A. So drawing a straight line will cut through this bending moment diagram. That will leave you with this unshaded portion. Using this value of area, we can easily find out the slope and deflection. I will explain you this when we discuss problem in area moment method. But compared to your double integration method or Michaelis method, area moment method is somewhat better method and easily computed, right? So it is also called as a graphical method, semi-graphical method, because we use this diagram, that is the bending moment diagram, for calculating the slope and deflection, right? Next method is conjugate beam method. It is an mutated version of your area moment method. We can say it's a mutated version. Why I am saying this mutated version is, what is called as mutation? Change of shape, right? Change of shape. It is going to change from its original condition. Change it from its original condition then and there. Conjugate beam is of one kind. Area moment method, you have a beam, you have a loading condition, you will draw a bending moment diagram. This bending moment diagram will be considered as a beam for the conjugate beam method. I hope it is clear. See, for area moment method and other method, we are considering the actual beam, support condition, loading condition, everything, and we are going to solve the problem. In area moment method, we are going to draw the bending moment diagram. As per the conjugate beam method, this resulting bending moment diagram will be considered as a beam, and with that help of the beam, we are going to solve the rest of the problem. It will be then what will be the loading condition? What will be the loading condition for this resulting beam is, at each and every point, what will be the the loading condition? Each and every point, what will be the loading condition? It will be the moment. It will be the moment. Using that moment value, we will be solving the entire problem, right? This also will see the detailed explanation when we solve a problem, right? Conjugate beam is defined as an imaginary beam with the same dimension, length as that of original beam, but the loading at point on the conjugate beam is equal to the bending moment at the point divided by A. Why we are doing that, I will explain you when we clearly see a problem related to this conjugate beam, right? So that is all for the introduction about the deflection of beams. In the next video, I will give you a derivation where we are going to see this Euler's equation, which is the most important equation used throughout this unit. So we'll see the derivation in the next video, and thanks for watching.